Welcome back to another deep dive from your favorite destination for everything on two wheels, so two-wheel trends. Today, we're rolling back the years and forward into the future all at once, with one of the most unexpected yet iconic comebacks of the year, the 2025 Yamaha SR 500. A name that once defined classic thumper charm and bare-bones motorcycling soul is now reborn with a modern touch. This isn't just a motorcycle, it's a statement, a tribute to Yamaha's storied legacy, now wrapped in modern engineering. And in true two-wheel trend style, we're diving deep and no gimmicks, no fluff, just pure, unfiltered moto passion and every detail you need to know before this beast tempts you at the showroom. From the first glance, the 2025 SR 500 doesn't scream for attention, it commands it with quiet confidence. The front end is unmistakably retro, paying homage to its late 70s roots. It feels timeless. A circular LED headlamp replaces the old halogen setup, and while it retains that old-school round aesthetic, it offers a bright, well-defined beam that drastically improves nighttime visibility. Subtle Yamaha branding sits beneath the headlight, and you'll find brushed metal finished fork covers that hint at the bike's vintage character. The telescopic front suspension, housed within traditional gaiters, is a nod to the original's design language, but with vastly improved damping to handle today's varied road conditions. Looking at the bike from the side, you're immediately hit with a dose of nostalgia. The long, sculpted fuel tank with subtle tank pads, the slim single-piece seat, and exposed engine components all harken back to the SR's classic blueprint. But closer inspection reveals modern finesse. The welds are cleaner, the matte finish is more refined, and Yamaha has gone the extra mile to make this machine feel handcrafted yet contemporary. The frame is still a steel semi-double cradle, but it's now lighter and slightly more compact, improving agility while maintaining that iconic profile. The alloy wheels, a fresh addition, come in 18 inches front and rear with a sleek black finish, shod in two blues retro pattern rubber for both style and grip. The side panels have a brushed aluminum look, with a discreet SR 500 badge that doesn't feel flashy but instead whispers authenticity. From the rear, the bike continues to balance nostalgia with modernity. The rear fender is minimal, hugging the tire closely without eliminating that old-school vibe. A small, round LED tail light sits right under the seat, keeping the lines clean. The twin shock absorbers are now gas-charged and preload adjustable, offering a more comfortable ride across city potholes or hilly terrain. The exhaust is perhaps the most eye-catching detail here, a classic upswept chrome pipe with heat shields, tuned for a thumpy, rich note that pays tribute to the original's rumble. It's the kind of exhaust tone that makes your heart beat in sync with the engine, raw but never harsh. Speaking of the engine, let's talk heart and soul. The 2025 SR 500 brings back that signature single-cylinder thumper, but with modern refinements that elevate it well beyond its predecessor. It's still a 499cc air-cooled, four-stroke single, but this time, it's fuel-injected and Euro 5+ compliant. The engine produces around 34 horsepower at 6,500 revolutions per minute and 39 Nm of torque at 4,000 revolutions per minute. Those numbers may not raise eyebrows in a spec sheet war, but the delivery is where the magic lies. The power band is broad, the torque is accessible down low, and the throttle response is crisp and predictably making the SR 500 an absolute joy to ride in urban chaos or open country roads. The fuel injection system has been tuned not just for emissions but for character, retaining that slight engine thump that made the SR so beloved. Starting the bike is now a mix of modern convenience and retro cool. While the kickstart lever remains for authenticity, there's now an electric starter as well. For those who remember the joy or struggle of a perfectly timed kickstart, you'll be glad to know it's still here, but now it's a choice, not a necessity. The 5-speed gearbox remains faithful to the original, with short, snappy throws and a light clutch pull. In traffic, it's manageable and even fun on the highway. It cruises comfortably at 100 km/h with minimal vibes thanks to a redesigned engine mount system. When it comes to riding dynamics, Yamaha has worked some serious magic. The SR 500 might look retro, but the way it handles is anything but dated. The chassis geometry has been subtly revised to make the bike more flexible and responsive. The 18-inch wheels give it a planted feel, and the suspension setup with telescopic forks up front and twin shocks at the rear strikes a great balance between comfort and control. It's not a sport bike, but it doesn't pretend to be. What it offers is a ride that's engaging, involving, and real. It connects rider to road in a way that most modern machines struggle to do. Braking duties are handled by a single 282mm front disc with a dual piston caliper and a 240mm rear disc, both with dual channel ABS. It's not overkill, and that's the point. Yamaha knows this bike doesn't need aggressive stopping power. It just needs reliability, and it delivers that in spades. Instrumentation is where Yamaha once again treads the fine line between old and new. The twin-pod cluster remains, but now you get analog needles for speed and RPM, complemented by a small LCD in the center for essential info like fuel, trip, and gear position. There's no TFT here, no Bluetooth, no app integration, and that's intentional. The Senior 500 doesn't care about screen size or phone pairing. It's about riding, pure and simple. On the topic of fuel economy, Yamaha claims around 35 to 38 km/L in mixed riding conditions, thanks to the efficient fuel injection and slightly higher compression ratio. With the 12-liter fuel tank, you're looking at a comfortable range of over 400 km on a full tank, plenty for weekend getaways or daily commutes with character. Let's talk colors and trims. The 2025 Yamaha Senior 500 comes in 3 variants: the standard heritage black with chrome accents, a vintage silver with gold pinstriping, and a special retro blue edition with hand-painted tank details. Each version uses class, and none of them feel overdone. Yamaha has kept the palette simple and sophisticated, banking on design purity rather than garish graphics. Now, price. In India, the Yamaha Senior 500 has been launched at a superscript 13.89 lakhs showroom, positioning it squarely between retro-modern offerings like the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 and the Triumph Speed 400. In international markets like Europe and Southeast Asia, it sits around the A-Negation 5,500 to A-Negation 6,000 mark depending on the region. Is it a value proposition? That depends on what you're looking for. If you want top-end performance, electronics, or specs on paper, and see a look elsewhere. But if you want soul, simplicity, and a visceral riding experience that modern bikes rarely offer, the Senior 500 is worth every penny. Rivals are few and far between. The Re-Interceptor offers more power but lacks the raw simplicity. Honda's CB350 is more refined, but perhaps too polished. The Senior 500 carves a niche that's all its own, true to form, honest in its appeal, and focused in its purpose. It's not trying to be the fastest, or the smartest, it's trying to be real, and it absolutely nails it. After spending time with the 2025 Yamaha Senior 500, one thing becomes crystal clear: this bike isn't just a product, it's a philosophy. In an age where tech-heavy dashboards and digital distractions dominate, the Senior 500 brings us back to why we fell in love with motorcycling in the first place. It's the feel of the engine pulse through the bars, the resonance of a thumper's exhaust echoing off alley walls, the simplicity of a ride that doesn't ask for anything more than your attention and a full tank of gas. So, is the Senior 500 for everyone? Number. But for those who get it, it might just be the perfect motorcycle. Not because it tries to be everything, but because it's unapologetically what it is: a living, breathing tribute to motorcycling's golden age, refined just enough to survive today's world. If you're a rider who values emotion over numbers, and connection over convenience, then the 2025 Yamaha Senior 500 should be on your short list. It's a bike that asks you to slow down, and not in speed, but in spirit, to take in the ride, every shift, every thump, every mile. And that's something you won't find in spec sheets. That's all for today's deep dive into this beautifully reimagined classic. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Two Wheel Trends, and let us know in the comments, would you pick the Senior 500 over the competition, and what color would you go for? Until next time, stay safe, keep your revs high and your rubber side down. This is Two Wheel Trends, signing off with another ride of passion, precision, and pure motorcycling joy.